Hey, just give me 5 minutes to show you something amazing. In this video, either before or after a quick lesson full of traps, I'm going to be testing the Byrne variation against the Pirc in real games across different time controls. And I'm talking about 3-minute blitz, 2-minute bullet, and the ultra fast 1-minute bullet, or even less. But which time control truly favors the Byrne variation? Well, stick around, we'll find out against real opponents on leeches. Let's dive in. So, the Byrne variation against the Pirc goes as follows. You start with e4, then black responds with d6. You just want to take all the center, as always, and after knight f6, you simply go knight c3. This is the standard way of playing against the Pirc, by the way. Black will play pawn to g6 most of the times because they want to fianchetto their bishop and castle short. It is in this position where you can go different ways. For example, you can play knight f3 if you want. You can play bishop e3, but to be honest, my favorite is bishop g5, which is called the Byrne variation. Point is, you may end up winning very fast if black continues playing the natural moves like bishop g7 in this position. The whole idea is to play pawn to e5 so that if they take, you now go de, attacking that knight. Of course, the top played move here is queen takes d1, after which you should take back with a rook. This looks boring because you can't play without queens, right? But wait, there's a checkmate coming very soon. For example, after knight g counter-attacking our pawn twice, this is when you play pawn to h3 first, kind of forcing black to take on e5 with their knight, after which you go knight d5. This is winning on the spot because you are attacking the c7 pawn and probably win the rook on a8. That's why you will see most amateur opponents defending the c7 pawn with knight s6, forgetting that you have bishop takes, and after pawn takes, now you simply go knight takes c7 check. Looks like you are just after the rook on a8, but nope, it is checkmate. This is how I win most of my games with this Byrne variation. But you see, the way masters defend against the Byrne variation is as follows. After e4, d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, and bishop g5, first they play pawn to c6, stopping knight d5 in advance, or just continuing with bishop g7, so that after pawn to e5, they now go knight fd7. This is so annoying, and I know, but hey, you still have some good continuations. First, you can go pawn to f4 to gain more central space if you want to play a balanced game. You can also take on d6, it's not much of a stretch. But here I love playing this tricky move knight d5, just putting more pressure on the e7 pawn. Not the best thing you can do in this world. For example, if black tries to defend with knight c6, now this is when I take on d6 like this, because black can't take with their e-pawn. Not to mention that moves like pawn to f6 may run into d takes c7 and I'll win that queen. If cd happens, now this is when I play another weird looking move, bishop b5. You know the idea? Just to take the defender of the e7 pawn. You know, I've seen black players making moves like queen a5 check, which is a losing mistake instantly. Why? Due to pawn to b4. Defended by the knight, if queen takes, I simply have knight c7 check, and black is losing the queen. So if knight takes on b4, now I pin that juicy knight on b4, and it's just a free knight, by the way. Because once again, if they try to take my light square bishop, I have knight c7 check. This is just a little trap. But you see, as I always say, every coin has two sides. If your game plan doesn't work, or if your tricks don't go as planned, play chess. It's that simple. Follow the basics. Don't just rely on tricks and traps. So after bishop b5, if black doesn't play queen a5, and let's say they do the right thing, something like pawn to h6, the best you can do here is to play bishop e3. Now you are playing chess, no tricks. But you see, even now, moves like queen a5 can't work due to the same tactics that we looked at earlier where you just go bishop d2. So black is not going to play that. Don't worry about queen a5 check. So after h6 and bishop e3, they'll play something like pawn to a6. The secret is not to take on c6 because that would allow black to have many pawns on the center. You just want to play bishop e, that's safe, and then continue playing normal chess. From there, pawn to e6, knight c3, then knight f3, castle short. So what did we achieve? Listen, we were just testing our opponent's knowledge in chess. In a safe way, of course. Our traps failed to work, but all in all, our pieces got developed, and that's the goal. Anyway, another move that seems to be challenging after e5 and knight fd7, then this is an immediate pawn to f6. In fact, this is the top played move in the master's database players, but it only brings us back into the game. If you don't believe what I'm saying, take a look at what is happening in the Masters database. 44% win rate for white, and in the Lichess database we see 58% win rate against 38. So in this position, the move you should play is this tactical pawn takes d6. But first, what I love doing in bullet, especially against pre-movers, is to sacrifice my bishop this way. Pap, just a little trick, because I know if black takes my bishop, I have knight e6, instantly winning the queen. Don't try this at home. Anyway, so after pawn to f6, just go e takes d6. A more matured way of sacrificing your dark squad bishop, because this time if black takes, guess what? Black loses the queen on the spot after dc7. Anyway, if they don't take your bishop and let's say they play cd, the main move is bishop e3. If queen f5 check, oops, they want to win your knight, so you better play knight c3, knight back to c3, and once they castle shot, you simply go bishop c4 check. It's all about space, and this is why white wins most of the times in this position. Due to these highlighted weaknesses, the only sensible move here is king h8, after which you begin pawn storming on the king's side right away. Simple plan. You're going to mess up their pawn structure if not going pawn to h6. Now wait a second. After g6 and bishop g5, some of your opponents will play pawn to c6 as I mentioned earlier. That is before playing bishop g7, not just allowing you to play knight d5 in advance. If that happens, feel free to go queen d2. This is another plan of yours. You just want to go bishop h6, exchange the dark squad bishops. At this point, they may play something like pawn to b5. Whenever you see that, play a3. Now they will play knight b d7. And so you continue playing normal chess. Remember, knight f3, if pawn to h6 before bishop g7. The safest square for your dark squad bishop is the e3 square. And you're safe, bishop g7, bishop e2. So get used to these bishop moves, bishop e3 and bishop e2, if your traps fail to work. This is the setup you want to get used to. So speaking of chess, let's see how people on Lichess respond to the Byrne variation. My first game will be a 3-minute blitz match, and then my second game will be a 2-minute bullet match, then finally a 1-minute bullet match. And hey, don't just watch. That's not encouraging at all. To keep this channel alive, you can simply share this video, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have nothing to say, just type "Thank you, Kaspa" in the comment section down below. Lastly, if you want to go through my study PGNs, such as the one I'm using in this study, you can visit my Patreon page. The link is in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's go d4. This time my opponent has played the check defense. This is not the Pirc defense, you guys. You should know the difference. When you see d6, c6, just know the check defense is about to appear on the board. So that will be after knight f6, I guess. And that pawn to g6. Anyway, this will still count. I will not abort the game, as I do most of the times. Let me play bishop c4, trying to be relevant in society. Pawn to e5, I'm not just sure about this move. I can just take. I mean, this kind of creates a lot of weaknesses if you think about it. Can I play knight f3 to allow this bishop pin? The queen is here. Let me just do this. If bishop g4, I'll play h3. Now I can attack that. Maybe let me play knight g5. I want to get rid of my opponent's bishop pair, if you think about it. Yep, that works. And now let me try something dubious in this position. Pawn to f4. I want to castle short, by the way. Nothing much. With this move, I just want to open up the position. Knight d7 is not a good move. It allows me to capture here and, be ahead in development. I just made my opponent lose their right to castle. If you think about it, now I can castle short. Yes, there's pawn takes, but I have a number of ways in which I can win back that. By the way, this is another blunder, as you can see, due to queen h5. I'm attacking two pawns. If I capture on f7, that will be check. Not to mention that I also have f takes e5. So in order for you to play the check defense like a professional, you need to know what you're doing. You see, my opponent just resigned on move number 12. I mean, there's nothing they can do. Alright, let's move on to something more interesting. The next game will be a 2-minute bullet match. Still watching without subscribing? Come on. The more you subscribe, the more you encourage me to do more and review more stuff. Anyway, let's go knight c3 and e4. I love to do this if I want to force my opponent to play the Pirc defense with g6. Yep, now the Byrne variation. Let's see how this will go. Once again, this trick, you guys. Now this is okay. Take back, take back, take back, take back. I will allow you to play something else. Great. Oh yeah, I think that was a mouse slip. Yep. So I did well to allow that take back so that my opponent doesn't have an excuse. So let's protect this. I want to play knight d5 next, but I guess we're going to c6. Yep. So quite interesting. Can I play this move? Let me try. Yeah, because I think they are going to play this. Okay, bishop out. No, this is not good. I can just take and protect everything. I have knight f3. No, come on. Come on. I mean, I was just going to take. But anyway, I'll still count that as a win because, I mean, I won this game multiple times. I allowed a take back. My opponent's opening choice was poor. You know what? I'm not satisfied with this. Let me try another 2-minute bullet match featuring the Byrne variation. Oh. The modern defense. Are we going to see something like the Byrne variation trap in this position? Knight f6, e5. Yep. My opponent is playing very fast, yet they seem not to know the theory behind this. I mean, this will end very quickly. I should mention to say I'm playing against a 24-18 rated opponent. I can see something coming already. Knight takes is a long-term positional mistake due to knight d5. Now I want to take here. You see? Knight s6. I take. Well, I can still take if I want, but there's no need to. I think here it's wise to do this. I'll take the knight. And I still have knight takes c7, by the way. I don't know what my opponent was thinking, but it's all good. This is just the 10th move of the game and black is already lost. If you think about it, this is the power of the Byrne variation against the Pirc defense. Now I can take on c7. That's just a free rook. If you think about it, take and then do this. Rescue the knight. Good. So my opponent just resigned, as you can see. Guys, this is a 1+1 casual bullet match. Looks like we're going to have the Byrne variation. Yep. So let's go d4 and then bishop g5, then pawn to e5. How did I know this? Okay, this is a very tricky line, one that you need to know in the Byrne variation of the Pirc. I want to play knight d5 now. Let's see how that will go. And then knight f4, knight e6, take the bishop or the queen. With knight d5, I'm putting more pressure on the e7 pawn, by the way. So now I can do this. Knight f4, this is bullet. So knight f4 makes a lot of sense. These are moves you should consider in bullet, just to eat your opponent's time. And now if I want, I can, wait a second, take or play bishop h4 to invite this move. g5, queen check. Not the best line in this world, but I'm just trying to finish off my opponent as quickly as possible. You see, these are bullet moves. So I'm going to sacrifice my bishop. In fact, wait a second. Let me give a check first. And then let one of my pieces die. So, castle long. There's a checkmate here. Or maybe I should have played bishop. Okay, met. So what I should have done is I should have played something like bishop g3 in this position. Because bishop g3 was going to create an impression as if I'm giving up the knight, after which it was going to be logical for me to make them like that. The way I played castle long wasn't the best move, even though it worked. Why do I say so? Because all my opponent needed to do in this position was to play pawn to s6 or even pawn to d5. In this particular position, I wasn't going to do anything, so I should have played bishop g3. But anyway, that worked as well. That was the Byrne variation against the Pirc defense. Okay, let me know which time control you like best for playing this opening. By the way you support this channel is by joining one of our membership tiers on Patreon, or simply buying my courses at www.KaspaChess.com or on my Patreon page. That really helps.